This is our after video, and I'd like you to watch it. And can you see, here's his anterior tilt. Look at how much more this structure of his pelvis looks like it's underneath his head. Now, I cut off his head just to keep his identity private, but you can see compared to the other video where he was leaning way forwards like that, he is now a lot more stacked up in that anterior tilt. It's really happening through his pelvis and not just a lean forwards, which is awesome. And if we watch his posterior tilt, now that's still quite a bit. So if we just estimate where his pelvis is, like that's a pretty significant amount of posterior tilt where the front part comes higher and the back part of the pelvis goes lower. There's still a lot of knee bending happening. But what's really lovely is this whole section of his rib cage here. It used to be pushing backwards. And now, can you see how it's more stacked up? Again, his spine is able to articulate more as a structure between his head and his pelvis on axis, which means like a shish kebab. So not like a shish kebab on an angle. That's my shish kebab. Delicious. Probably would choose chicken. Anyway, we want that shish kebab. If it's your pelvis, rib cage, and skull, we want that to be roughly a straight line. So this is much better. So if we just take a look at this again, see how when he's doing his anterior tilt, there's a lot less forwards translation of his rib cage. He doesn't go as much into this one spot of his lumbar spine shearing forwards, and he reported a lot less discomfort there. And then his posterior tilt too, he's not thrusting back with his rib cage. So what that tells us is when you are stacked up nicely like that and able to anterior and posterior tilt your pelvis, it means that the spine is also able to articulate into flexion here with the posterior tilt. The spine is going to be flexing or rounding, so all the joints at the back here are going to be opened up, and all the joints at the front of the spine are going to be closing down, and the abs are going to be shortening here. And when he's doing his anterior tilt, he's going to be actually getting some length through the abs there, which wouldn't happen if he was just falling forwards. And he's going to be getting some activity and some shortness, contraction of the muscles on his back, which he needs to get out of this massive amount of flexion he possesses through his spine. All right, I think I've said enough about that.